Hi everyone. I hope you're having a good weekend. Originally I was gonna put this all in text and a comment on my page last night, but it turned out a lot longer than I thought it was going to, so I decided that I was gonna make it into a video instead. So it's mostly just a random, thought process that I was going through, but it doesn't make it any less true. And I have been thinking about this kind of thing for a while. So throughout my journey so far, I've encountered a lot of great successes and some major setbacks. And this is completely normal. In the moments of failures or setbacks, it feels like total shit. I have fallen to bad patterns of thought and wanting to give up and just do what I want, which is nothing. However, in these moments of great triumph, it feels so good to have accomplished this on my own. I'm not trying to put down anyone who uses diet aids, but I have had many people come to me and say things like, "Oh, you've done so well so far. You should try insert diet plan here. It could really help you out." This is all well and good for some people who want to invest their money in this way. For me, when the day comes that I finally get to my goal weight and I consider my weight loss journey a success, I don't want to ever have to say to people, "Oh, it was easy. All I had to do was insert diet plan here." Or "I owe all my success to insert diet plan here." In other words, I don't want to associate my success with a company. I want to know that I did this all on my own steam, my own sweat, blood, and tears, my own muscles and brains. I want my success to belong to me. Having said that, this is why I wanted to make my journey so public. I wanted to show others out there that it can be done. I'm no fitness guru, I'm no dietitian, I don't have fame objectives or money schemes. I'm just a regular person who has spent their entire life second, third, and fourth guessing myself, never find myself worthy, and gave up on trying to be healthy so many times I can't even count. Up until January of 2014, I was never able to hold on to the idea of losing weight for any more than a week or two. I think the actual longest I took a stab at a diet plan was shortly after I graduated from high school. Um, and I only did it because I was working at Subway at the time, and that's pretty much all I ever ate. I would get home from work around 1 or 2 in the morning every night, stay up for a few hours, go to bed around 5 in the morning, get up at 2 in the afternoon, and then go back to work at 5, and I would eat at work. So it was just a repeating cycle over and over of, not eating properly, just working. And so it wasn't actually dieting, it was just that's the way my life was going at the time. So honestly, I never really dieted. I just didn't have an overly heavy food input. I've always hated the fact that I had no dedication to anything. I told myself I would never lose weight because I couldn't commit to anything, that I was weak and I had no self-control. And here I am today. I mean, I'm obviously not done yet, but I've made that change. I don't know exactly how it happened. I'm a pretty spiritual person, so I do hold a piece in my heart that says I had a smidgen of help. But logically speaking, even if that was true, I can't say that my spiritual beliefs had anything to do with where I am today. I may or may not have had a push in the right direction, but now I possess the knowledge that I am not weak, that I have self-control, and I am not worthless. I can commit, and most importantly, I am doing it. It took me a long time to get to where I am now. And I'm not talking about numbers, inches, or dress sizes. I'm talking mentally. This is where everyone gets it wrong. Losing weight is not physically hard. I mean, it can be challenging in the beginning, but it is hard emotionally and mentally. It is the fear of the muscle pain, the fear of the failures, the fear of the ridicule, fear of commitment, and the number one fear is not being able to hold yourself accountable for your actions. We all know in our heads that no one can do this for us, that we have to be doing it for ourselves. We have to want it so bad, and we have to crave it with every fiber of our being. Unfortunately, some people don't get the encouragement that they need to get started, that they've already been belittled into a vegetative state. But if you're watching this, you're not one of them. I know I don't know each one of you personally, but I believe that you can. I believe everyone can. All you just need is to be brave enough to want to hop out of that shell that you've built around yourself. I know I hate my shell. It has protected me from a life that I wish I had. I want to be able to go swimming with my kids, but my shell tells me that I can't be seen in a bathing suit. I want to be able to go a public place and have a bite to eat and not wonder if everyone is judging my food choices. But my shell tells me to either skip eating altogether or go through drive-through so nobody sees me eat. Losing weight is a very sensitive thing. Every moment of your day you're facing choices that stand at the edge of a blade. Now and again we all mess up, but the trick is realizing it. Analyzing where you've messed up. Skip the self-loathing altogether and move straight past it and recognizing the problem so you don't make that same choice again. Slowly the pieces of my shell are chipping away. I can now eat in public without feeling total fear. And that makes me want to pick the things that are better for me, not just the things that, okay, if I eat this, I'm really fast and nobody's going to notice me, like burgers and fries and stuff like that. No, like I can take the time to eat the things that I want for myself because I'm not thinking about the people that are around me. I'm thinking about me and what's important for me because really other people's thoughts, it has no consequence on my life. It has no real effect on my day to day. I have a husband that loves me. I have a family that love me. I have children that love me and I love them back. And anything else doesn't really matter. I mean, people can have their opinions about me. And while I'm not going to say that I'm going to be totally unaffected by it, but it's not going to be, the pinnacle of my thought process. I'm going to be honest in saying that I do think about it. And I mean, it's been embedded into my head since I was a child that I have to be self-conscious about the way people think about me. And, oh, I better not eat that because, people are going to judge me and, oh, that's not a good thing to eat. So I better not touch it or people are going to be thinking this, it's changing your thought process from what I should be doing because people think, or you should be focusing, I shouldn't be doing this because it's not good for me. It's not about what they think. Who gives a flying fuck about what other people think? It's about what you think. And as much as people say, oh, it's about what your family thinks. Yes, it's important for some perspectives, but in this situation, it's about how you feel because nobody can pressure you into doing it. Like people in my family and outside sources have been pressuring me into losing weight my entire life. And now that I'm here, I don't really need my family's approval either. It's because I don't feel comfortable in my skin and I want to feel and be the best me I can be, as I've said before. It's a weird concept to think of. I'm nearly 30 years old and I really don't know myself. I've been so consumed my whole life and how I look that has become my whole world. But I really don't know who I am out of this fat exterior. I know tidbits, some more important than others, but everything I have done up to this point, I mean literally everything, has been wrapped up in my self-conscious fear. I'm eager to find out who I am outside of the shell. I want to break through it on my own. With love and companionship and community behind me and me behind the community. And I'm not going to say that this whole thing is easy because it's not. I'm taking the knowledge that a majority of us already know instinctually, and I'm actually using that knowledge. I'm not pushing it aside for convenience anymore. No more excuses. If I, the most previously doubt-stricken individual on this planet, the one who started believing that I would be one of those women on TV that were like 600 plus pounds because I couldn't imagine myself any other way. If I'm able to do this, if I'm able to change my perspective, then anybody can. I mean, I know in my heart and my soul that anyone can. All they just need is to know that they are worthy, and you are. You are more worthy than you know, and I know that. So that's really what I wanted to say as far as that's concerned. Sort of the whole premise of what I wanted to say was that this journey belongs to me, and anybody who is on a journey of their own, that journey belongs to you and it should belong to you. I think it's not a bad thing to want to get help from outside sources like diet plans. Like I've heard of Shakeology and 24 and 12 and whatever that all these different plans are. And I mean, if that's how you want to invest your time and your money and your efforts, everybody has to do what makes them comfortable. But for me, it doesn't make me comfortable to want to attribute my success to something else. Like I couldn't have done it without blah blah blah. I owe my success to blah blah blah. It's not how I want to remember this journey. I want to be able to remember this journey and think I had it in me. It was me. I was strong. I did what I had to do. And that makes me more proud and more confident than having to say, oh, how did you lose the weight? Oh, I did this diet plan, and that's fine for some people. And I'm not judging people for having these ways. But for me, it's not how I want to remember it. It's not how I want to say to people like, oh, I want to be able to say, I just did this. And insert all these things that, I talk about throughout the way. But I want to be able to say that this journey was mine and I did it and it was me. It wasn't, I had to drink these shakes 3 times a day. I had to, I couldn't eat carbs. I want to be able to go through this journey and rearrange how I think about food and rearrange how I feel about exercise and make it into something about me and not about um, glorifying these companies for what they claim to do. And when you get these plans, you're doing it yourself anyways, but you're using this thing as a crutch. You're using this thing as, it's what I need to get going. And, that's fine if that's what you need. But in the long run, you really don't need these diet plans. You just need to remember that your most important ally is exercise and calorie counting. And while I'm not saying that you don't have to eat healthy, you just, make sure you're eating the right amount of calories. Well, yes, even if you do eat the wrong things and you still count your calories, you're going to lose weight. But your body is not getting the nutrients it needs to be healthy. So it's whether there's a balance between healthy and there's a balance between healthy, and then there's also the weight loss part of it. But the two sort of don't always go hand in hand. You can lose weight without being healthy. There's a lot of other ways. I could give an example, like binging and purging, anorexia, stuff like that. You're still losing the weight, but you're not being healthy. So you have to find that balance and what works for you. And it's really important that you do things that make you comfortable. And this is how it makes me feel comfortable. So when I had asked a while ago, what kind of things do you wanted me to talk about? I have one reply out of all of the people on my list. And he wanted me to know what kind of machine to get. And you know what? I don't really have an answer for that because like I've said before, you have to do what's comfortable for you. If you like rowing machines, for example, get a rowing machine. That's what's fun for you. That's what you do. I like my elliptical trainer. I have to remember what it's called. One sec. So I have a Sport Top E450. It's in a free-floating elliptical trainer, so it's not on tracks. It floats above the air and it goes like this, and it has an oscillation on the front. So it's very space-saving. I was a little concerned about it in the beginning because I thought that my weight might damage the pedals that you're standing on, but so far it's been fine. And then I also got the service plan on it. If you are going to get an elliptical trainer or any other machine out there, I really suggest that you buy new, but only if you are serious about it. And even if you do buy one and you don't use it for 6 months, don't just say, oh, well, I'm never going to use this, get rid of it. Because that's what I did the first time. Well, I didn't actually get rid of it because I couldn't, but I bought the elliptical trainer. I used it a couple times, like, "Ugh, this is too hard." So I stopped using it for like a year almost. And then one day, my whole life clicked. My whole life changed, and I started using it, and I haven't stopped other than the time I was pregnant since then. So, I mean, just because you don't use it now doesn't mean you're not going to use it ever. So just make sure you keep it around. Make sure you just have it somewhere that you can just whip it out when you finally do decide that you want to do it. But back to my point, you do want to buy new if you're serious about it, because when you buy elliptical trainers and other machines, there's a very good chance that they're going to break down at some point. And if you buy off of Kijiji or secondhand, unless they still sell the parts for that machine, you're kind of hooped. So if you buy new, you can get service plans on it. So if something goes wrong with it, somebody can come out and fix it for you. If you buy used, you don't have that. So I really do suggest that you buy new if you're serious about it. But like I said, I can't really suggest what kind of elliptical trainer or what kind of machine to use, because it's all about personal choice. So I would just suggest going into like a fitness depot and just try out different things. Like that's why they have the floor models, so you can try them out and see what makes you feel most comfortable. Like just do like 30 seconds on each machine, and or skim through the programs, and just look at it and see what you, oh, okay, this kind of looks cool, or this will be interesting to me. Because if you buy something that you don't really enjoy, you're not going to do it for sure. That's the hardest thing about losing weight, is everybody's looking for these different kind of programs for exercise, and you have to find something that works for you. Because if you're going off of other people's experiences, like some people really enjoy yoga, and that's great, but I don't really enjoy yoga, so I'm not going to do it. It's the same way with anything. You're not going to go and do Zumba 3 times a week if you don't really enjoy it. It's gonna be work to you. And I enjoy the elliptical trainer because it's easy for me to do. It's easy on my joints. I don't feel tired the whole time, but I'm still getting that and valued cardio workout. Recently I started adding in some strength training with kettlebells, and I posted a video on it. I've done it every night this week, and it's so far, like, my arms are really tired. They're really sore, but it really does work. And it's just a few minutes a day, and it makes a world of difference. So it's just what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel happy, and something you're going to be able to engage yourself in frequently. They suggest at least an hour of activity every day. But I mean, just do something. It doesn't have to start out at an hour. You don't have to push yourself to be, I need to be gung-ho right off the bat. Work yourself into it. When I first started on the elliptical trainer, I was only doing 20 minutes at a time. And at the time, that 20 minutes seemed like forever. But now I do an hour every day, regardless of how I feel, regardless, unless I have like engagements that I have to do, like I have made plans and I have to go out for dinner or something like that. That's the only time I don't, that I skip it. Like if I'm just home, not doing anything, I make sure I get my butt on that machine, because otherwise I just feel like crap, and I feel like I've thrown everything out the window because I was lazy. So it's important for me to get on there every day. But just even if you don't take it to the same level as I do, just slowly work your way into it. Eventually that 20 minutes gets so easy that you don't even notice it, and then so you push it up to 40, and then that 40-minute feels like, okay, that's good, but I could do more. So you push it. Like for me, that's how it worked for me. I put 20, 40, and now I'm at to 60. I sprinkle in 75, 90 minutes every here and there, and every once in a while when I get a chance I do 2 hours, but that's very rare because I don't always have 2 hours to kill. But yeah, I mean, just work yourself into it slowly, and you'll get there, I promise. So that's all I really had to say in this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please click that like button, and if you really like it, you can share it. You get other people in on the journey with me, and I always appreciate more followers, and I plan to be just as behind my community as my community is behind me. So I really hope to have more followers eventually. And I really hope that this was helpful in one way or another for somebody, and and answered any questions about me that maybe had. And feel free to always ask me questions. And, on my page, you're always welcome to post your successes, your failures. And, I want this to be a journey with all of us, not just me. This is a journey of a community, and I would really like to make it a community experience, and um, everybody to take part in each other's journeys, because the more support you have behind you, the easier it makes you, and it kind of gives you inspiration to move forward. So it's always appreciated to have more followers and more people behind me. So I hope everybody has a great weekend and take care of yourself out there.